Welcome back to the garage. We're obviously back from the dyno, as you saw on there. It is our dyno episode, and we want to go over a few things with the car and show you what happened up at the dyno. We were up at SRD for 2 days. We were up there on their hub dyno for Thursday and Friday of last week. And we found, would you say a lot of issues, or a variety of issues?
A variety of issues that we would not have found had we not been on the dyno.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we would have eventually found them, but it would have taken multiple track days to find those.
Yeah, every penny that we spent up there on the dyno was absolutely worth it.
I mean, we made 20 to 25 hits over the course of 2 days, where if you were to do that at a track, that's insane. Let's say thank you to a bunch of people who helped us out before we get into all the nitty-gritty stuff here. All right, so Steve Keen, he did the initial setup and a bunch of the safeties and everything that we have in this ECU. He helped us tremendous on there. Scott Clark from Real Tuners, he came in, he helped us diagnose a bunch of stuff to get this thing fired off. He just came in, took over the laptop, do this, do that, do this, change this, and then, I mean, it was really helpful having him there. Robert Ellis from Holley EFI, he was awesome. He was calling me at night going, hey, I thought of this, or I thought of that, or check this, when we were trying to get the car fired off. So he was huge help on there. Mike and Don Kritsky, they helped us out with the blow-through portion of this. They know the blow-through carbs from APD very, very well. Matt Sandbeck and Ryan Keller up at SRD for letting us use their dyno, and we helped them kind of figure some stuff out on that as well, because we were like the third car on that dyno. They gave us, you know, they sat there with us for 2 straight days figuring out this or that and all the issues and making pulls and calling stuff. And if I had a question on the Holley Dominator for something weird that I didn't know, Ryan was right there. I mean, he grabbed the laptop and he goes, oh, here's your issue, boom, there you go.
This is the first time that we've used the Dominator system, and there's so much information inside that system that you can pull up and data log with that. I was absolutely impressed by it.
So we got the car up on the dyno. Here's pictures of when we first got it strapped on there. We started our first pull. It took us a while because the car was in the trailer overnight. We have to get the oil temp up, everything like that. When we got there, it was like 14 or 10 or 14 degrees or something stupid, and we had the thing strapped down. We had to plug the oil heater in and let it warm up to the point where we could even crank the thing over. We couldn't even crank it over because it would just, and then it would just stop. So we got it warmed up and finally made our first pull. They made like 850 horse because in the middle of the pull, the mechanical fuel pump fell off. Through doing all of the plumbing and everything, I thought he tightened it up. He thought I tightened it up.
He tightened it up.
And, you know, it forgot to get the clamp didn't get tightened on there, and it fell out of the camshaft forward. But then the safeties that we have in there, when it went lean, because it no longer had fuel pressure, when the fuel pressure dropped and the air fuel went lean, it shut the ignition off. And that was the first pull. Then we had a bunch of ignition issues. I'm going to show you guys here in just a little bit the inside of the car, because we had to rewire a bunch of stuff there on the dyno to figure things out. But there was a solid, like I said, we did 20 or 25 pulls on there, and we didn't start filming any of the pulls on there until we were in that like 1500 horsepower. So that pull there, the data on it was right around 17 pounds of boost on there, and pretty low on the ignition timing. But we made it was a solid pull, but we still had some cylinders that were going cold. So we kind of moved some stuff around. We started diagging things, looking at plugs, looking at what plug wires, everything here, and then we got it so it made a pull on all 8, and then that was our next pull here. We started to get some ignition stuff figured out. We rewired a bunch of stuff in the car here. Let's go over that. Al's going to be over in just a sec, but some of the stuff we had to change. So we have some wires in here. As you can see, we wired a bunch of stuff that goes back. It goes up over the tubs, and it goes all the way back to the battery. We were having issues with some of that stuff, and we actually had to just start wiring stuff, hardwiring it right in the
problems that we were experiencing were because of this electronic equipment that we've got in here, the computer system and all that in here is so sensitive to RF signals and to voltage spikes, microsecond voltage spikes from things turning on. So the differences between clean ground and dirty ground and clean power and dirty power became very important at that time.
We move this just a little. You can see there's a bunch of bus strips and everything under there. We use those a lot you can put power to it, and then you can then grab power off of each one there. But if you have like a ground one there and you're trying to ground sensors to it that use a reading, and then you also say have a fuel pump that goes on there. That fuel pump is giving a different, grounding going back through all of that, and it can mess with sensors and everything else. So that's what he's talking about for dirty ground and a clean ground. It's each item that needs to be grounded or have power needs to be grounded or powered a certain way because of what it can do to everything back in the ECU. Once we got a lot of these wiring issues figured out,
it was very crucial that you have that log data to find this, because these were dropping out, these cylinders would drop out on us at say 6,500 RPM, and then they'd come back on later. And it was very hard to tell where it was without that log data. If we didn't have that, we wouldn't have found it.
I heard a saying yesterday. Yesterday's Sunday. We took Saturday off because we worked our butts off on Thursday and Friday. And I'm talking about the data log on there. That kind of just hit the nail on the head. Was the difference between screwing around and science is writing things down. We were making our own small spreadsheet on there going, okay, especially when we got into, when we started making about 2200 horse on here, which is this one here. So when we were making about, that 2200, 2300 horse range there, we started to, around that, we started to turn on the auxiliary fuel systems on there. And that's where it became very crucial to write everything down of, these are how hot each EGT is on each cylinder. This is what size jet we're putting on that cylinder to try to cool it down or heat it up. We had some that were really cold, so we wanted to take some jet out of it to try to get it warm. In the end, we were able to make a whole bunch of power. We have a few clips of it. We had somebody guess like 2,698 horse or something like that.
Yes, we did.
Dylan Winan, and we made 2,661 horse. And that was only at 32 pounds of boost. We did end early. We were running out of time because we were only up there for 2 days, and it was already like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. We had to load the car up, do everything like that. But we were also seeing that the carburetors pushed forward on this intake manifold for a reason, because of G-forces going down track. Now, we didn't have those G-forces pulling back, so that fueling that we were figuring out, at the upper boost levels on there, was not going to extrapolate from the dyno to going on the track because of that. So we decided, instead of beating on the car another 5 pulls and everything like that, we can figure out the last bit of boost at the track. We have enough data. We have enough, data logger and everything on there. We can get that to work properly there. We all kind of talked it out and said, hey, is it worth us doing this just to get the number? No, not really. It would have just wasted fuel and wasted time.
I'm happy about it, and one thing to say is we're not dyno queens, okay? I prefer to have the performance on the track than on the dyno, but the dyno is crucial, and I can't explain that enough. Crucial to making sure that before you go down the track, you got things right that you can work off of. All in all, it was a good day, or a good 2 days.
Yep. But now we're gonna then go and we're gonna show you what we're gonna change on the car before we go down to Georgia. So, I know one thing that we are going to change that I've been working on and trying to figure out is, you saw in some of those, and you'll see in some of the clips, that right here, our catch can setup that we have, it was steaming up and everything, which is exactly what it's supposed to do, but I don't like where it's at, where we have it right here, because if anything were to drip out or anything, that is right in line with a back tire. And then that will be a bad deal. So the catch can setup is actually going to go through the car. It's going to come through here, back, and we are going to put a deal back here. Now, go ahead and, it's not a pro mod, I can tell you that right now, because it is a steel roof and quarters car. But people are going to say it online anyways. Oh, it's a pro mod, it's got the rear thing and the choo-choo out of the back. I get it. I honestly, I understand it, but it's not a pro mod, okay? We're going to go over our fuel system. We're going to drain all of the stuff out of the carburetors, clean it, WD-40 it, everything like that. But we're going to do that after probably midway through this week, because we are going to put it on the chip and work on doing some boost building and things like that for it. When I said we were putting different spark plug wires on, I mean, here are 4 brand new spark plug wires. They go in, they don't have the Hemi deal on there. We jammed them down in there. They're extremely long. And then we have 4 new ones over here, same thing.
Same thing.
Those ones were a little bit shorter, thank goodness, but we're gonna go ahead and then redo all these spark plug wires. That's kind of what we plan on changing. The old Precision 118, she was putting in some work. She was doing good. I was really happy with it. So yes. One last thing. I want your opinion. This is Greg wants your opinion, okay? This is a tough one for me, but inside the car here, we took the dash out. You see the nice dash? It's actually sitting over on the floor over there. But we took the dash out, and because we were having issues on there. We needed to be able to get to the transmission for stuff, and we needed to get to all the wiring over here while we were doing that. And now there is the question of, do we put the dash back in and have that big fiberglass dash that goes across there, or do we put just the small mount right here and have the dash off of this, and we run run it open there? By deleting the dash, it'll save us around 10 pounds for the car, but it also gets rid of the look in the car. So comment below, do you think we should put the fiberglass dash all the way across back in there and deal with having to get to some of the stuff, or do we put just the digital dash on there, get the Motion Raceworks mount, and just do it that way? So let me know what you guys think, because I already know how I feel about it. How does everybody else feel about that? Stay tuned for the next video. That's going to be next week. That is going to be us changing from a big floppy tire and wheelie bars to radials. Everything that's needed, the shock package, and what we change, and we're going to give you guys some actual numbers and everything, what we change in the rear end and everything else to make that happen. So thank you guys for watching. We appreciate it so much.
Hey, right down here on that link, right down there, click, share, subscribe. We love it, you guys. Thank you so much for that.
Do share this one. This is a really cool video. If you do share it on any social media, feel free to tag us in it. Thank you again. Like, share, subscribe, do everything there. And until next time, guys, be safe out there.
See you next week.